Hi, I wanted to do a little discussion video about I'm reading the Trdr by C.S. Lewis at the moment, reading it out loud on this channel, and we've just had a little section in here where Eustace, a very I don't know if spoiled is the right word, very kind of rotten, self-hating, um, kind of unhappy little young boy has, through his actions, they've gotten sucked in back into Narnia, and they're doing this voyage of the Dawn Treader, and he goes into a cave after seeing an old dragon just die. It looks like of old age, maybe of sadness. He climbs into a cave and sleeps on top of the dragon's hoard, and is thinking greedy, dragonish thoughts, I think is how the book puts it, and gets turned into a dragon. And you know, everyone else is trying to figure out how to like get him off the island because he can't. He's a giant dragon now, and he can't. They're not going to be able to transport him, and they don't think he's too big for the ship. Can't drag him behind. He probably can't fly along with them for that extended amount of period. Um, so it's in trouble that way. But um, what happens is that Edmund, one of the Pentheus's kids, comes upon Eustace on the shore, wearing clothes, and back to being Eustace again, except kind of a bit more of a changed Eustace. I mean, that kind of happened as soon as he turned into a dragon. He certainly regretted, like, oh God, I want to be human. I want to be friends with these people. After being bitterly complaining and nasty and just kind of a general rotter, in that English way, you're a rotter, drinking water supplies when you shouldn't be. But and he asks him like, well, what happened? How did you get changed back? And he says like, I don't know. I don't know if it was a dream or not. And then he recounts coming upon a dragon, not a dragon. He dreams of coming upon this lion, and the lion taking him to a well and saying like, scratch yourself, scratch off your skin, take off your skin so you can get in the water. And so he does. He scratches off, and it's like, oh, I'm like a snake that way. I can, and he digs and he digs and he rips off his skin, but then there's just more dragon skin underneath, and it's like, oh, well, do it again. So he does it again. He does it multiple times, and he's still a dragon, and so he can't get in the water. And Aslan, it turns out this is Aslan, the king lion of this book, said, well, let me do it, and he digs in with those lion claws and he just rips through, and it's like, oh my God, he's gonna get right to the core of me and pull off all this skin, and he does, and he rips it all the way off to the point where this boy, he is himself comes out as a boy, and it's like, it's the most massive kind of defoliation kind of regime, and he goes into the water, which stings at first, but then just feels super delicious, and he has a golden ring which he had slipped onto his arm as a young boy. It's like, part of my treasure, that he's now able to slip off his arm because it was horribly deforming his dragon limb. Um, and Aslan scoops him back up out of the water, dries him off, puts his clothes on. It's like, a lion did that? It's like, yes, somehow sort of did. I don't know how that happened. Um, but it's kind of this beautiful thing of even though I'm not like really into a lot of the kind of the Christian allegory that C.S. Lewis does, just this idea of Eustace not being able to transform himself back from being this dragon to being a boy again, and then Aslan is able to dig deep enough and rip open enough to actually do that, and to dry him and to clothe him again after bathing him in this deep kind of wellish pool. Um, it's just kind of a beautiful imagery, and I mean, and the narrator makes a point of saying, and it isn't like Eustace was transformed and was always a good boy after this. It's like, no, he had backslid. He'd have days when he was kind of grumpy and nasty and not really that great of a human being. But he was still better. He was still improved. Um, which is sort of a nice metaphor for how sometimes there are outside forces, outside influences that can truly help you, push you towards maybe being a better person or being a changed person, which I think of the stuff of the Dawn Treader, I'll be interested to, as I read this along, if there's another passage that actually resonates with me, and that I think, you know, as I read this as a kid, this is that image of Aslan rip, digging the claws into the dragon hide and ripping it open to reveal Eustace, the boy, under entombed in all that dragon hide, all that kind of nastiness and greed, and just all the shielding you put up in your life, to find the kind of the human underneath it all, uh, is definitely is the kind of the image that I think I would keep from the Dawn Treader. Yeah, and it sort of reminds me of, like, that C.S. Lewis was, he was good at this stuff. He even if I kind of I there's some of the more kind of heavily Christian allegorical stuff, especially at the end of the line, "The Witch in the Wardrobe," which I kind of rebel against now, just as being too much of a push. This bit here just really uh, clicks with me, probably because that little Eustace boy with his really unpleasant parents and him being unpleasant, and that really that resonates. That's I can see my I can Eustace is a I am Eustace. Eustace is me. Yeah, is definitely there. So my little appreciation of the Dawn Treader as I'm reading it out loud, both to myself and to a client at work. So yeah, more videos later.